back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys! So I am here today to do my May wrap-up. It is not quite the end of May as I'm filming this, it is the 24th, which means there's 7 more days of May and therefore I might read more. However, if I do read any more, I will just film a little bit of a clip extra and I'll plonk it on the end of this video. So look out for that if I end up reading more than these books. So far though, I've read 6 books this month with 1 DNF, which I would say is pretty good. So I'm going to run through now what I've read this month, and do let me know if there's any books here that you want to see a full review of and I can do that. So the first book I read was on my Kindle. That was Educated by Tara Westover. I had this on Kindle and audio, and in fact I do recommend the audiobook. I think that was really good, but reading it was also fun. This is a non-fiction story and it is about the life that Tara has led, which is a wildly different life to most people. She grew up in a situation which is vastly different to most, a very religious and very scared household. She had a father who was very controlling and a prepper lifestyle where he was constantly trying to get them to prepare for the end of the world. Now, she has grown up in this incredibly conservative lifestyle, and yet only later in her life, when she's almost an adult, does she start to question some of the things around her and try and start to go out a little bit more into the world and really uncover whether what her father has told her all her life is true, and whether she could get more for herself if she went out and tried some of the things she has never been allowed to do. And this is her real life. It is her real story. It is a really fascinating one. I truly recommend this to anyone to read, even if you have no particular interest in Tara herself. I didn't know anything about her before this book, but I was recommended it by a couple of friends and they all loved it, and I can see why, because it is really well written and really interesting, and her life is just so different to anyone else's that I've come across. I ended up giving this, I think, 4.5 stars out of 5. Really, really liked it. Definitely feel like her story is worth a read for anyone, and I just, yeah, very odd, very different, bit of a random pickup for me, but I'm really glad I read it. The next one I read is Fourth Wing. Now, obviously this book has been hyped to all hell and back. I'm currently reading the sequel. I read this one with a group of my girlfriends and we had a great time reading it. Some of it is just hilariously bad and some of it is just hilarious. So we enjoyed kind of sitting there together, leaving voice messages for each other at certain chapters and just enjoying giggling about the book and laughing about the book, speculating where it was going. A lot of the things we guessed, but there were things that were a bit different and surprised us. So I would say actually Fourth Wing is not as bad as everyone made it out to be, because there was a lot of hype about this and a lot of then people looking down on the people who hyped it. I think it's an easy, fun YA read, and it definitely ticked the bill for being a dragony story which has some tropes, has some silly moments. It was fun, and I think it was made more fun by doing a buddy read. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, and as I say, I am currently halfway through Iron Flame, which is the sequel, and I will be reading the rest of that pretty soon. So I expect to finish that one, if not this month, then early in June. But yeah, definitely a wild ride. If you want a full review of that one and Iron Flame, let me know, because I can do that if you would like. The next one I read was What the Echoes Say. This is an SPFBO title and I will be doing a full review. In fact, I've already got one filmed, I just need to get it up. So if it's not up already, it will be going up pretty soon, so look out for that. I then DNF'd this book, The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry, and the reason I DNF'd this is just the way it was written was not jiving with me at all. It's written in a sort of phonetic sounding way of writing to try and give you the dialect that the young woman in this has, and she's sort of a scum of the earth London resident in the Victorian aristocratic times, something like that. I just didn't enjoy the way it was written and I really couldn't get past that. I think the story could have been good, but I just didn't like the writing style at all. And when something irritates you right from the get-go, it's not something you're going to get over. So I think I got about 15% of the way through and I just was not enjoying the style of writing. So I had to give up on that one, unfortunately, and I will be donating that one to the charity shop or something because, yeah, it just was not for me, unfortunately. The next one I read was one that I got on NetGalley. I don't think it's out just yet. It's called Key Lime Sky, and this is a neurodivergent character who is non-binary at the centre of an alien invasion. They live in a world which is very classic kind of small town America, in the middle of nowhere, and yet an alien comes and invades, and it's kind of the story of what goes wrong and what goes on around them. It's also a bit of a love story, and it's just a bit of a wild adventure, to be honest. The main character is actually a pie reviewer, so they go around and they review pies, and it's just a bit wacky. It's a little bit of a wacky story. Again, I gave that a 3 out of 5, I believe. It was fun, but it was a weird one as well. It has some really good rep though, which I enjoyed seeing the representation. And then the last two that I read are also SPFBO ones. I read Born of Scourge and I read Wings So Soft, both of which are SPFBO titles, so I have done full reviews for both of them and they will be up very soon if they're not already. I'm not going to tell you what I rated them here because I'll tell you that in the reviews. So that's everything I've read so far in May. If I do end up reading any more, you'll see a snippet here. If not, then thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what your best book of the month was, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye all!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.